we're back in the EG, and we just got the passenger footwell vacuumed out in preparation to remove its sound deadening. This time we got a little bit more dry ice. We got about 50 pounds, and we're going to start removing all the sound deadening. And today I think we're going to make Melissa get her hands cold with some dry ice and have her do some of the work too. I'm going to work on removing the SRS unit and go back to using the lamp because my light died again. So maybe one of these days we'll actually get on like 100% in sync with our cameras, batteries, and our lights, but that's today. That day is not today. So we also got some more stuff we gotta do with removing wiring from the doors and the rest of the body. So we got a lot to do, so we're just gonna go ahead and get going with it. Sound good?
Yep.
Let's do it. So other than the mess of tools and other stuff that's in the car right now, most of the sound deadening is out. There's only 2 strips of it, which are up by the tunnel on the sides. I've tried removing it. You can't really do it with the dry ice method because the dry ice doesn't really stick to it because it's on a slant. But right now, we've almost got the wiring out. I just pulled the rest of the seat belts out. We're just about ready to pull the last bit of the harness out. But the fuel pump and stuff is still connected, so we'll have to wait on a different day because I want to pull that out, but I also want to keep that wiring, I think, for the fuel pump. So we'll continue this video when we come down here and work on it next. What's going on, rats? We're back. In terms of getting the car back on track and running by the end of the year, which is my goal, we have to get the wiring replaced. So in the past, we talked about the harness and how messed up and chopped it was, which led us to this. This is the body harness. And everything from, this is the door wiring to everything in here. This is the everything of the underdash. There's your main relay. But it was just chopped and destroyed, as you can see. It's just, it's nasty. Even the the switch is not working. So needless to say, that's where it's all going. So this is like a trash bin, or like just in case I need it. So what we did is we identified and traced what each pin we did was. So in the previous videos, we bought a hybrid harness, or a hybrid racing adapter harness, but because our body harness that it adapts to doesn't work, we just cut it. We have pinned out and marked and labeled every wire with our thermal label maker. So all these things are all marked out. So we continued that process. We did the same thing for the cluster with the wiring in here. So here is part of our cluster wiring. And let's remove this. We got more of our cluster wiring. We have our ignition switch wiring. So this is to tell us how, this is our headlight harness actually. We have the same for our front headlight harnesses. I think these ones are the blinkers actually. What else? This is for the SRS light for the center console. We got some other wires in here that we didn't quite get to work properly, I think. So, or one of those doesn't belong, but it was clipped off our harness, so we're keeping it. We also have somewhere around here in this pile of parts, in this massive pile of parts, we have new headlight connectors for the EG. We got new headlights over here, which we don't even have a place to bolt those up to yet. But in terms of a fuse box, in order to try and maintain some of our originality or whatever, the underdash fuse box is this hunk of mass, and we don't need 90% of this. We don't have air conditioning, we don't have radio right now, we don't have, I mean that, and this thing is huge and bulky. So we went and looked around the aftermarket world and saw what they wanted. So we got this thing called an HWB60, which is made by a company called Littelfuse, and it allows you to convert everything using the micro ATM fuses. So in order to mount it, I made a 3D printed plate, but come to find out this one actually doesn't fit. So the net result was this. So this is my fuse box for everything in the car. The main relay to the engine, all the sensors, everything goes through this. There's a total of 4 relays and like 12 fuses, and that does everything from yeah, I don't have my sheet, but basically everything's covered through it, which is crazy to think about. And there's still space to add more. So it uses Delphi 280 series connectors on the back, which I got all the stuff for through Waytech, and I have a bunch of wire ready to go to start wiring the car. So the net effect is that essentially we have the car wired up, or have the car design, like the wiring design ready. We just need to make it happen. Yeah, I think we're just about ready to start getting this done. The only other thing we got to do really to the engine harness is we got to rip off all the like OEM sheathing, and then we're going to run it with Tesa tape. That's just to make it look cleaner and get rid of all the pre-mold plastic stuff on it. So that's the engine. So the engine to the ECU is ready, or will be ready soon. From the ECU to the body, we got to do everything. So after this is going to take care of our OBD stuff in terms of the O2 sensors. This is going to take care of the relay for it. It's going to take care of 90% of our issues with it, or that kind of stuff. And then, oh, I think I found those. Yeah, here's your headlight. Here's our headlight connectors. So the only thing to do now is just start to figure out what we're going to need for our power. So this is all the